Greetings and salutations. I am Jeremy Tank. I am so many different things in my title. I am a expert in behavioral branding. And today we're going to talk just a little bit about, I don't have my camera hold, so I get to go all over the place. I'm going to talk a little bit about websites versus landing pages, because this is something that somebody asked me recently. They said, what do I need to have on my website? What is the purpose of having a website anymore, right? And I just want to do a quick little video to share, what the point and the purpose of each one of these things is, because it helps to know as you're building your brand what you need. And if you're already building, a real larger business, if you're already scaling, then you should have some of this already organized. And if you don't, then that's fine, because every little bit helps. Every little piece of knowledge is another step in the right direction, right? So websites are the classic thing that I've been building websites since '95, and websites typically have your homepage, they have your blog or video things on there. It's usually a contact form and just some basic information about what you do. In the past, websites were highly wanted, desired as a sales platform, but really a website is not what sells who you are and what you do. A website is a place where you go and you put all of your brochure type content. A website is a place where you can put content that search engines use to figure out how to help people find you online. Now that's different than how you might be thinking about websites, because websites in the past used to be pretty much you just talking about yourself online. And that's not how search engines see that, and that's not how someone who is searching for your services, your ideas, your everything will use Google or any place else that they're looking for things. They are looking to solve a problem. And hopefully you are the one that has a solution to that problem. And so in order to actually get them to go to your website and take an action, you need to write things on your website that actually convince them, share with them, like within the first 5 seconds, they're going to deem, is this person for me? Is this person not for me? And that's why, a lot of websites, a lot of templates, a lot of builders, free builders out there have a big old headline right at the top, and we call that above the fold because you're not scrolling, but it's from the old newspaper days when things folded. Paper, right? Paper. And so the whole idea is you want to put something right in that top piece of your website that tells people not what you do, but the transformation that you create in their life. If that's a product or a service, you're telling them what the end result of that thing is for them. And that's super important, because if you are an RTT practitioner, you are not offering RTT. You are offering to help them stop smoking. You are offering to help them feel more confident. You are offering to help them move past pain, trauma, right? These are the things that people want help with. And when they go searching on Google, this is sort of how you have to think about it. How do I stop feeling pain after my breakup? How do I feel more confident in myself? How do I, these are the things that people search for. So that's what you actually want to position as a headline. And then further down, you can say, here's how I do it. But really, you're putting up there why you do it. You don't do hypnotherapy. You don't do car repair. You don't do fancy homemade soaps. You do it so that people can feel better about themselves. You do it so that people can get around. You do it so that people can feel better while getting around and smell good, right? It's the end result, and it usually has an emotional benefit to your customer, the person visiting your website, and what they are looking for, because ultimately that emotional result, that limbic brain emotion thing, is what drives them to make the decision. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the first thing you want to do is really say why you do things, and it's ultimately for the customer. It's ultimately for them, because the search engines, all of these massive robots, spiders crawling, software things, searching your website are looking for ways to categorize who you are in a way that people search for it. The next thing down on your website, actually the second thing, the next panel or whatever that ends up looking like, I know this sounds strange, but what you want to do is go to the opposite end of your positive transformation. So if your transformation, if what you are working with people, like, okay, it's easier for me to position this for myself. So I really help people to feel confident and clear about their brand and their values and what they are building so that they can take the steps to build that. The opposite side of that is if you're not clear in the brand that you're building, if you don't know the next steps you're going to take, if you haven't created a vision, you're just chasing every platform, every opportunity out there, what does that look like in your life? That looks scattered. That looks like you are not actually moving forward because you're spending too much energy going in different directions, right? So that's what you want to share on that next panel down is the opposite. If people don't get that service, if they don't feel good about themselves, if they don't fix their car, if they don't buy your organic soaps, if they don't drink your smoothies, if they don't, like all of these different things that you offer, these are people that I have talked with, I know the services that they're offering. If the people do not buy that service from you, if they don't want that transformation, what is their life going to be like? And you see, one of the primary functions of the brain is contrast. So when you position it as, solve this problem for yourself, feel better, take the next steps. And right below that, you go, if you don't do this, here's what your life could be like, or this is what you are experiencing now. What that does is it creates that spectrum. It activates the brain. It activates the limbic system. It activates the fight or flight response actually slightly, just enough for them to be interested. Oh, well, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to me. So maybe I should take steps on that, right? So first is that transformation. Second is the opposite side of it. So they have a spectrum to see what they're trying to progress, trying to move forward with. The third step is giving them the next step that they take. Contact me, connect with me, send me a message. It's usually a form or a button, schedule a consultation, right? It's the next step in their journey. Something, just asking them, go ahead and take this step and I'm ready to take it with you. Click this button. Very straightforward. After that is usually a testimonial or a series of testimonials to show, look, what I do works. Here's people who say it works. After that is usually a brief breakdown, and I mean very, very brief. Break this down to like no more than 3 steps or 4 steps maximum, because people don't read websites. They scan websites. They're looking for bullet points. They're looking for quick pieces of text. In the same context, behaviorally, do not give them huge paragraphs to read. You want to give 1 or 2 sentences, small little snippets, so that when they are scanning, they see a word or two and they can find that content easily. The upside of that is SEO also loves that, because those little bits, those little snippets are the things that it looks for to help target your website when people search. So what you do is you break down your process into 3 steps, 4 steps. 3 steps is really easy because the mind embraces the idea of 3, boom, 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 beginning, middle, end. Right? It's a story structure, and that's actually what you want to do. Is the story beforehand is they're suffering from the problem. They come to you, you listen to them, and evaluate. The next step is you actually take steps together. You empower them. You create the transformation with them. And the next step is they start to experience it in their lives, and they take off. Right? This is the story brand sort of structure. It is you are the Jedi Master. You are Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are Brahm from Aragon. You are the one helping this person through their journey. And this is the hero's journey. And this is part of becoming an entrepreneur, is placing yourself into the hero's journey. So you, as an entrepreneur, are now moving forward at a higher level in your business, helping someone who needs that. And in their own journey, they are the hero. And that's the mind flip about websites, where we've been kind of talking about ourselves, and you see this a lot online, where companies talk about themselves for pages and pages and pages and pages and pages, and frankly, the public don't care. It doesn't matter. Most of that content is directed right at search engines. It's directed right at Google. It's directed right at the CEO's ego. So, the whole idea is put more content that tells people what it does for them. And by framing your sentences, framing your content around them, it's easier for them to see themselves working with you. After that is usually another, click here to connect, schedule an appointment. And then you've got other pages going on, about me. People read that a little bit to learn about your history, to learn about your knowledge, to learn about who you are and where you've been educated, but it's not as important as the actual transformation. They want to see social proof, which is the reason you litter testimonials as many places as possible. Video testimonials today are far more effective than written testimonials. If you can get a video testimonial, 30 to 60 seconds of somebody just saying, I worked with this person, it was terrific, just the cognitive I keep wanting to say dissonance, but it's not dissonance. It's the recognition that this is a person. I see their face, I see their eyes, I see their lips moving. This is not made up. This is an actual person talking on this company, this other person's behalf. Super powerful these days, just as much as putting yourself out there with your face. It's something that needs to be done. So I guess the rest of that, like I've already said, a blog, or if there's any special other things that go into your website, you can go ahead and tack them on. Mostly what you're looking for at that point, though, is brochure-worthy content. Anything that you find interesting goes on a back page, does not go on the front page. Anything that, articles that you're writing go in a blog or go on separate pages, does not go on the front page. You can include, in fact, absolutely, down at the bottom, and I say this on purpose, down towards the bottom, you can include links to your Instagram, to your Facebook, to YouTube. Put your most recent or most popular video from YouTube right on the bottom of the page with a link to where they can go and view more videos. The reason is websites don't sell, and they're not really meant to sell. It is a brochure. And by putting more content in the order that I've said, in the order I've instructed you, you are giving people more of the sales part of it without selling. Because we all hate feeling like we're selling something. We want just to share who we are. And when you position it in a way that here's the transformation you get with me in my service. When you write it in such a way as people can just read and go, I want that transformation. Oh, here's the other side of that. I recognize some of these things from the bad side of that transformation for myself because I'm experiencing it, right? That's always the thing. Oh yeah, I am experiencing that. If you are experiencing blah, 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 then contact us, right? That is the standard commercial, pharma commercial, certainly. But old school commercials, like the Super Sponge and anything like that. I loved those things. That's what gets people to buy. And when you start it, again, I did this yesterday, if you are experiencing bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, 3 to 5. That's it, 3 to 5, no more. Brevity is king with this whole idea. And that's what gets people to actually take the next step, because they are just scanning down and they don't really know what they're looking for when they go to your website. They're looking for some piece of information that's locked up here. And the thing that you don't know is what that piece of information is. What is the last piece of information that will actually create the leap to make them contact you? You don't know. And this is entirely in their experience and entirely in their paradigm. But when we provide a clear transformation headline, a clear opposite side of the spectrum, like the hell spectrum, here's what if you don't work with me, and then give them 3 options, like 3 times on a page to connect with you. I'd say right at the menu bar, schedule a consultation. Right after the hell phrase, schedule a consultation. Hell phrase is bad, I know, but that's really what it is. You're trying to show them, here's what happens if we don't have this. If you don't have this, your life could get worse, right? You know that if you haven't changed your oil in 10,000 miles and you keep driving on it, something bad's going to happen. And you don't know what that is. And the car seems to be perfectly fine right now. But if you don't change that oil, something's going to happen, and it's not going to be good. It dries out, the engine burns out, you end up replacing a lot more parts, it's a lot more expensive, and that's the way life is with your services. If they don't hire you, if they don't work with you to fix and create that transformation, something worse is going to happen. And your job, your purpose, your service, your being is there to help them so they don't end up suffering from literally blowing up their engine, right? If they had a leak in the tire, your job is to say, look, I have the expertise and the knowledge to help you patch that tire and make sure it doesn't pop a leak in the future. Because if you don't, then you're going to end up with a flat tire, perhaps even worse, and just a horrible, maybe you get in an accident because of that, right? That's why I call it that hell, that second piece, that opposite side of the spectrum, because you got to make it sound pretty bad so that they understand if they don't fix the problem, then they're really SOL. So the main point of websites that I want to get back to is that really they're to drive SEO, they're to pull together a lot of your content from around the web into a single source so that people can go there and kind of like click off and find you in all the other different places that you're located. If you're an artist, it's to contain some of your portfolio, because portfolios these days are broken into different types, different categories, and you can do that all on a website. But most people who are commercial artists don't get hired through the website. They get hired through like Behance or Fiverr or Upwork or some of those places. Unless you're pretty high specialist level, what people are like, oh, I definitely want to hire that. I definitely want to hire that guy, right? So that's a website. And the thing that websites are getting confused with a little bit right now is landing pages. And by landing pages, I'm including ClickFunnels in landing pages, because the thing with both of those are they are specific for sales. If you have a book that you've written, a landing page is the perfect place to, and you follow the same basic format as the website. That's the funny thing. It's got a headline that talks about, the amazing book that you've written. I'm using the book as an example. It has a couple of testimonials about, people who read the book. You talk about the transformation that the book helps create. That Hellovision ends up just being like a description of the book at that point, or the process that you went through. Tell your story. In fact, at that point, what made you want to write that book? What made you want to create that product? What drove you into the space that you wanted to share this particular piece of information? And some testimonials. And as you go down, the thing that ClickFunnels and landing pages. Okay, landing pages offer easy ways to buy these products. They can be exceptionally short, even just, buy now. Here's the book picture. Here's a little blurb of text. Buy now. A couple of testimonials. That's it. ClickFunnels, really interestingly, use heavy mental influence, marketing influence, buying influence tools and triggers to get you interested in buying the product at the bottom of the page. And this actually requires a good specialist to write properly, so that from the very beginning of the transformation and the hell and the testimonials and everything else, it builds it in such a way that you, by about halfway down the page, are thinking, gosh, I don't need this, but I think I really want it. It seems like a really good deal. It seems like this is really smart. Look, it'll save me further down the line. And this is part of the trick of these things. And then when you get down further, they start listing off things like, the value of this would be this, and the value of this would be this. The value of this would be this. Excuse me. If I'm looking at my picture of myself right now, it would be, the value of Jeremy's hair, $5,000. The value of Jeremy's glasses, $3,000. The value of Jeremy's beard, $10,000. The value of Jeremy's shirt, $50. The value of Jeremy's presents, $6,000. And now we're going to go ahead and cut that way down, and then you have a line, and then underneath that, you can get all of that for yourself for just $2,000. What a deal. And in fact, we're going to even cut that in 10%. So now just $1,800, you can get that deal of Jeremy for yourself. Really broad example, but you see this all the time where they have a list of things and they start crossing out prices, and they have another price underneath that, and it's like the bundle price would normally be this huge thing. What they're doing is framing that. And you can do this on your website too, but it's not as effective because people are not on websites to buy. And I know that seems counter to how you may experience websites or how you look to websites or want to build one for yourself. But this is what the statistics show. People do not go to websites to buy. And this is the whole reason that the guy, Russell Brunson, who created ClickFunnels, and all the people that have copied him since have been so successful in building these things, because they're just one-off pages or a couple times two-off pages, and they're using these influence marketing techniques to trick the brain into basically going in and buying the thing. And if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, read Robert Cialdini's book, influence. It's all about the different tricks of marketing influence that are being broadcast and manipulated through these tactics. And there's nothing wrong with it, because if people really want to buy, they're going to buy. And when you offer a valuable, real service, you want to utilize these tactics. I see Frank Kern, who is a master advertising and marketing guy. His entire sales training thing is just landing pages that are sales pages, just like this. And recently, Simon Sinek and Seth Godin, some of their stuff, their pages are just these same influence-directed ClickFunnels pages. And the thing about those that I like them because they can absolutely sell something. If you have a class that you want to sell, great place to do it. If you have a book that you want to sell, great place to do it. If you have bundles of meditations, I talked about yesterday, offering a bundle of things someplace. So here's how you want to set this stuff up, because it matters. Your website, wherever you end up building it, wherever you end up placing it, is an independent entity of these other things. And, talk to your web designer. I'm assuming you have a web designer, or you will work with a web designer, because this stuff is so complicated these days. You need to have an expert in your corner that knows really a platform or several platforms to tie this stuff together, because the website has its own sets, functions, needs, desires, hopes, dreams, wishes, and it's basic, but it has its own needs. ClickFunnels and landing pages, however, have a lot of commonality. And what I love ClickFunnels, right? ClickFunnels are fantastic because they use a lot of this influence marketing, and they capitalize on it because they switch it up between, here's a video at the top, here's a picture at the top, here's sales copy that really directs people in, and then they upsell. So you want more, and then they downsell. Oh, you don't need that. Well, let's go ahead and trade you for this other thing. That's where the influence part takes place, because they are talking to the viewer in a way that, without knowing it, the viewer is convinced it's a really good deal. And it's really just framing. And if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you are hypnotherapist, if you're an NLP guy, if you're anybody that's used to working with the brain, you understand the power of framing implicitly, right? Like the idea of, this car is $5,000. You can go ahead and buy it. Oh, great. Well, I don't really have $5,000. Well, the car next to it is $15,000. Oh, well, now that $5,000 sounds fantastic, right? That's what it is. I just had another book pop in my head, but I can't remember the title right now, so I'll mention it in just a moment as soon as I think of it. And the thing is, you want to utilize all three of these types of websites in your business eventually. You don't need to start out trying to build these things, but eventually you want to use all three. And the reason you want to use all three is because these are the hammer, wrench, and screwdriver of web stuff. These are your tools. They work in different functions on different parts of the brain to do different things. ClickFunnels is fantastic for selling items, upselling items. If you have lots of things you're trying to move through merchandise, fantastic way of doing it. Landing pages, actually, what I've recently done is MailChimp expanded their capabilities, and they do landing pages directly in MailChimp. MailChimp, I find, is a fantastic place to rapidly build for very cheap or free a web page, a landing page with a book or with a couple of items for sale, or just trying to get people to sign up for a webinar or sign up for a mailing list, things like that. And then it goes directly into their mailing list database for you, and then you can utilize that to send out emails. And those emails, by the way, you can add links that direct them into ClickFunnels, which gives them more opportunity to buy more into you, or to your website where they can work directly with you. And I know this is kind of vague, but I've talked with a lot of people in lots of different industries lately, so trying to piece together, there are right choices for, there are no right choices for which one to do first. There are no wrong choices either. I know people that are doing $100,000 just with Facebook. I know people that are breaking 350 just with, not Pinterest, Instagram. So, and TikTok. And it's all these places. It's just where you can get your face out there. And the thing is that if you don't want a website these days, if you would rather use these social platforms and you're questioning why to use a website, here's the reason why. Here's the big reason why I still believe in websites. I still believe in keeping these things tied together and keeping your own data. Because it's yours. Because these are your customers. These are your leads. And when you go through Facebook, when you go through Instagram, when you go through YouTube, even to a degree, all those platforms are keeping track of the people, of the space. They're connecting it. Now, good news, on the back end, the algorithm is pushing more people to you. The more that you train it, the more that you train the algorithm by being you, by using keywords, by sharing the things that are about you, they help direct more people to you, which is great. But also, they manage that entire relationship. And if you want to manage your relationship with your customers, eventually you have to kind of take it away from some of the platforms. And that's why I like, honestly, again, I'm not being paid by MailChimp, but that's why I like them, because I feel like I still am managing my relationship when they go to those landing pages, and the email lists are all mine. It's a real easy way to kind of just get started and get moving in that. But Facebook, even when I'm working with those people, that's Facebook's audience. That's Facebook's people. And if for some reason I'm banned or blocked or Facebook gets regulated, imagine that happening, or any of the other platforms, then because I don't own the platform, because I don't own the data there, really, I don't have management. I don't have control over that. And if you're doing good business and you're willing to pivot and you're willing to shift, then go with it. Everything is an experiment, right? Everything is an experiment. Everything is an experience, and everything is worth trying to see if it works for you. And eventually you may want to go ahead and throw a brochure online, a website, whatever that looks like. And eventually you may do some landing pages. If you want to sell specific things to specific people, you can target better with a landing page or a ClickFunnels or some of those things. Yeah, so I guess that's really everything I wanted to share today. It's just a lot of just download of stuff. Really, wherever you start that's right for you is right for you. And that is the biggest takeaway here, is that if you've got a website up, fantastic. Maybe think of some landing pages. Think of some specific products that you can sell that would be really beneficial to your business to help expand your audience. And then maybe build a landing page for that and help on the back end, right? It helps systemize what you're doing so that you don't have to physically get out and do things. It's just something that starts building in the background for you. And that really is the key as we start to build business, as we start to expand our clientele, as we start to really embrace what we're doing and grow, is the systems, the processes. The more that this stuff can automate in the background and continue to move without your fingers touching it directly, the better you are going to be, because you can spend time on more activities that are bringing money into you or connecting you with people that are really matter in your life, rather than sitting there and hitting buttons. Because the technology side of it is not the side that counts. This, people, that's what counts. That's what builds your brand. That's what people value, relationships. That's what's always driven business, and that's what will continue to drive business. So, of course, my little sales pitch. If you're interested in learning more about me, absolutely visit www.thinktankcreative.net. It's I talk there. That's my website. I have a lot written about Manifest Design, which is my process, 8-step process to really figure out. Aurelia, I created my first ClickFunnels landing page recently. Hey, good. See, it's real easy. You sign up for the service, you start adding in the pieces that they say, you customize the text. They make it really easy on ClickFunnels, and there's a couple of competitors that do it too, but they make it very, very easy, and that's why I talk about their stuff. And the psychology behind what they're doing is what makes it work. And the psychology behind what they're doing, I always gave it to my team, and this time I created it. Good for you. I would applaud, but I'm holding the phone with my other hand. So, one hand clapping. Well, good for you. Yeah, so if you guys want to learn more about me, my process is Manifest Design. It is a vision setting, clarity creating, confidence building process that is all about you. It's all about your brand, your business, what you're trying to build, and then locking that in with rapid transformation therapy. RTT hypnotherapy is a powerful way to orient your mind, your vision, your body, honestly, in the direction that you want to go, to move through trauma, to really kind of just free yourself and feel lighter, to go get the things that you deserve. So, yeah, you deserve that. We all deserve that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching today. I wish you all a fantastic day. Thank you. I love you. Bye.